Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss atomic structure. This chapter we have started already. So today we are going to discuss some important points or important topics of this chapter. Okay, so we will start with the structure of atom. Atomic structure. Okay, in the model of atomic structure, we have seen there are two main parts in an atom. The central part, this we will call as nucleus. Okay, here we will have the protons. Okay, the protons will reside here along with the neutrons. Okay, and together these protons and neutrons we will call them as nucleons. Okay, so this is nucleus. Nucleus, this is the central part, and here all the mass of that atom is getting concentrated here because protons and neutrons are residing at this center or the nucleus. Okay, and they are as they are containing the mass, they are having sufficient amount of mass or considerable amount of mass. That's why they are getting concentrated in this nucleus. Okay, and electrons, another subatomic particle which is present in atom, that is electrons, which are having negligible mass, and these electrons are residing in this circular paths or orbits. Okay, these are called shell or orbit. Okay, orbits. As these electrons are very their mass is negligible, that's why all mass is getting concentrated in this nucleus, the mass of proton and mass of neutron. Okay, which are having considerable mass, and the electrons are revolving around this along with this orbits or shell. Now two main parts are there of an atom. In the structure of an atom, we will see there are two main parts. One is the center part, that is the nucleus, and the this shells, or this we will call as extranuclear part. Okay, extranuclear part or the orbits or shells. Now these orbits or shells, these are called the energy levels. Why these are called energy levels? Because these orbits are having each of these orbits, they are having a fixed amount of energy, and this energy, the nearest shell is having the lowest energy. That means the first shell, we know we have different shells. Okay, the first shell we will call as K shell, the second one we will call as L, then M, the fourth shell we will call as N, K, L, M, N. Okay, so K shell is having the lowest energy and N shell is having the highest energy, and this energy will increase when we will go farthest to the nucleus. Okay, and this is the reason why we will call these orbits or shells as energy level, as they are having a fixed amount of energy, and the electron which is revolving around that particular shell, they will contain the same amount of energy. Okay, that means the electron which is there present in the K shell, it will contain the energy same with the energy of K shell. Okay, the same manner, if we will get the electrons in L shell, then the energy of this electron will be equal to the energy of the L shell. Okay, so in this manner we can get the energy of any electron, okay, in any shell. Okay, so this is the structure of atom. Now we will talk about the atomic number. Okay, atomic number what is atomic number? This we will represent as Z. Okay, with Z we will represent. Atomic number is the number of electron or number of proton in a single element. Okay, in an element, the number of proton or number of neutron is fixed. Number of proton or number of electron is fixed, and that we will call as atomic number of that particular element. We have read about the different elements. First comes hydrogen, okay, which is having atomic number 1. Then we will have helium having atomic number 2. Then we have lithium atomic number 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, so on. Okay, then we have carbon, oxygen in this manner. So all these elements, they are having fixed number of electrons or protons, okay, in their atom, in their neutral atom. And as we know, electrons are negatively charged particle and protons are positively charged particle, whereas neutrons are neutral. So as number of proton and number of electron are same for a particular atom, that's why an atom is electrically neutral. Okay, so the number of electron present in an atom or the number of proton present in an atom will be called as the atomic number of that particular element. So hydrogen's atomic number will be 1, as hydrogen contain only one proton, okay, or only one electron. The same manner, helium is having atomic number 2, that means number of proton or number of electron present in an helium atom will be 2. For lithium, the number is 3. For beryllium, the number is 4, like this. Okay. So if we, this is atomic number. Now let us go for the mass number. Mass number. What is mass number? The total number of proton plus number of neutron. Okay, and as we know, the protons and neutrons, they are present in the nucleus. So the total number of proton and neutron present in a nucleus of an atom is called its mass number. Okay, so this, let us draw the structure of any element, say oxygen. Okay, so with the structure of oxygen, we will discuss this mass number and atomic number now. Oxygen, this element we represent as O. This is the symbol of oxygen, we know, and with its mass number and atomic number, how we represent this atom? Its mass number is, its atomic number is 8 and mass number is 16. Okay, so 16-8, O16-8. This is the nuclide symbol of oxygen, we will say. That means when we will represent any element with its mass number and atomic number, that representation we will call as nuclide symbol, or the representation of that element, that particular element. So for oxygen, we will represent it as in this manner, O16-8. Now from this we can write mass number. Mass number we will write at top, okay, at the top corner. So mass number is 16 for oxygen, and atomic number is Z, and mass number we represent as A. So atomic number is 8. Now from this we can calculate the number of electron, proton and neutron. Okay, so proton, neutron and electron, the numbers we can say. So number of proton is equals to the atomic number. So here for oxygen this will be 8. Number of neutron we will calculate afterwards. Number of electron is 8. Okay. Now as from the mass number, from the definition of mass number, we have seen that mass number is the total number of proton and neutron. So from this we know the mass number, we know the number of proton. So how we will get the number of neutron here? So this will be mass number minus the number of, minus atomic number we can say. Okay, that means number of proton. Mass number minus the number of proton. So this will be, for oxygen this will be 16 minus 8. So this will be 8. So for oxygen we have seen the number of proton, number of neutron and number of electron will be 8. Now let us draw the structure of oxygen. At the middle or in the nucleus we know 8 proton and 8 neutrons will reside. Okay, and the electrons will reside at the in the shell. They will continuously they will revolve this shell or orbit. Now for oxygen, the first shell we know this can accommodate maximum 2 electrons. So we have to draw 2 electron in this shell, in the first shell, in the K shell. Okay, so rest of the electrons will go in the next shell, that means L shell. This is L, this is K. So here we have drawn 2 electron already. So we have now 8 minus 2, that means 6 more electrons we have, which will go to this next shell, second shell, that means L shell. So let us draw this. So this is the structure of oxygen. Okay, this is the structure of oxygen. Now how we will know that how many electrons we have to draw in each shell? There is a rule which is called Borsbury rule. Okay, this is called Borsbury rule. Borsbury rule, that is 2n square. Okay, this will be the number of electron in each shell, where n is, for K n is equal to 1, for L n is equal to 2, M this is 3, and for N this will be 4. Okay, K, L, M, N, these are the numbers. Okay, now from this we can calculate maximum how many electrons can reside in K shell. This will be 2 into 1 square, that means 2. For A shell, for L shell, this will be 2 into 2 square, this is 8. For M, this is 2 into 3 square, that means 18. For N shell, this will be 2 into 4 square, that means 32. But here these are the maximum number of electrons which can reside in each shell. Okay, KLMN cell. Now one thing we have to keep in mind, that if the shell is the last shell, then there maximum 8 electron can reside. Okay, that means if M shell is the last shell, then maximum 8 electron will reside there. Okay, so this we have to maintain while we will draw the structure of the atom. Okay, next let us draw some more structure, some more elements, atomic structure. Okay, this we have drawn for oxygen. Now let us draw it for chlorine. chlorine we can represent as Cl3517. That means for chlorine, number of proton, number of neutron and number of electron we have to calculate first. So for chlorine, mass number is 35, atomic number is 17. Okay, so from this, number of proton we can calculate, this will be 17. Number of neutron will be mass number minus atomic number, that means 35 minus 17, that is 18. Number of electron will be 17. Okay, now this electrons we have to arrange in this shell. Okay, this is called electronic arrangement. Okay, arrangement of electrons around the nucleus, or electronic configuration also we can call them. So let us draw this. So here at the center we have to draw 17 proton and 18 neutron. So we can write it in this manner. In the first shell we know maximum 2 electron can reside, so that we have drawn already. In the next shell maximum number of electron is 8. So let us draw. Here already 6 electrons are there. We need to add 2 more electrons. So let us add this. Acha, this electrons, no, better if you draw it with a smaller size. Okay, because electrons are very small in size. So that you do. Next we have 17 electron. In chlorine, number of electrons are 17. So we have to draw 17 electron. We have already drawn how many? 8 in the K shell, in the L shell 8 and in the K shell 2. That means 8 plus 2 already 10 electron we have drawn. So we have left with 7 more electron, which will go to the next shell. That means the M shell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is the structure of atomic structure of chlorine. Okay, this is the atomic structure of chlorine. See here, this one. Now from this, the last shell in any atomic structure of any element, the last shell we will call as valence shell. Why? Because this shell will determine the valency of that particular element. So how it will determine the valency? For that we have to know few facts. That is, always an atom want to get the stability. Okay, want to attain the stability. To attain stability, they can lose or they can gain electron. They can attract or they can give out electrons. So this is for this reason they will form ions, cations and anions. Now for chlorine, how it can attain the stability? If in the last shell, for L shell onward, if they are having 8 electron in the last shell, then they will attain the stability, the maximum number of electron. Though in M shell maximum 18 electron can reside, but if it will gain 8 electron, means in L shell onward, if they are having 8 electron in their shell, in the orbit or shell, then that structure is a stable structure, we will say. Okay, now in chlorine we have seen in M shell the electronic configuration, how we will represent that. This is 287. Okay, the electronic configuration. For chlorine, this is 287. Okay, so in this manner we can represent. In the last shell we have 7 electron. So how it can attain stability? either this 7 electron it can lose, the chlorine can lose this 7 electron, then the last shell will be the second shell, L shell, which is already filled up with the maximum number or stable number of electrons. So in this manner it can attain stability. Or another path is there, another way out is there, that is in the last shell it can capture one more electron from somewhere else and it can make it 8. The 7 can be 7 plus 1, so it can make it 8. So this is also a stable structure, 288. That is the stable structure of the nearest noble gas. Okay, so chlorine's atomic structure is atomic number is 17, and its nearest noble gas is argon, which is having argon, whose atomic number is 18. That means in its electronic configuration we have how it will attain stability to get the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas. For argon 18, so this is 288. This is the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas, argon of chlorine. Nearest noble gas of chlorine, that is argon. Okay, so if it can attain the configuration of argon, then it will gain the stability. It will be stable. So in this manner, chlorine will attain stability by capturing one more electron. Okay, so how it will do this? Chlorine will capture one electron to form Cl minus. Okay, so we have seen chlorine ion. Okay, this is the anion, chlorine ion, as one negative ion is forming. Okay. Wait a minute. This one. Okay. So in this manner, chlorine will attain stability. Okay, and that's why as the valency, how we will say the number of electron an atom is gaining or losing to attain the maximum stability. To attain stability, the number of electron an atom is gaining or losing, that will be called its valency. So as chlorine is gaining one electron, so its valency will be 1. Okay, so in this manner we can calculate, we can predict the valency of any element. So for chlorine, as it's gaining one electron is there, so its valency will be 1. And as we have seen the last shell of chlorine, that is M shell, as 7 electron was there, and this number is determining the valency of chlorine. So this shell is the last shell, M shell, it will be the valence shell of chlorine. Okay, as this shell, the third shell, is determining the valency of chlorine. Okay, so that's why this is called the valence shell. Now let us draw the structure for sodium. Sodium, if we see the same manner as we have represented chlorine, if we represent sodium, then we will get that as 23, 11. 11 is the atomic number of sodium and 23 is the mass number. Okay, so from this we can calculate the number of electron, proton and neutron for sodium. Electron is number of, this is atomic number, proton is again 11 and neutron is 23 minus 11, that means 12. Okay, so these are the number of electron, proton and neutron in sodium. Now let us again, so from the number of electron, we can draw the electronic configuration. This in short I am writing as EC. Okay, electronic configuration of sodium, this will be 281. Okay, 281, this is the electronic configuration. In the first shell 2 electron, in the second shell maximum 8 electron, and the rest of the electron, 1 electron which is there, that will go in the third shell, M shell. Okay, now let us draw the structure. This we have drawn for chlorine. Now let us do it for sodium. 11 proton, 12 neutron. Okay, in the first shell 2 electron, in the second shell, in the first shell 2 electron, in the second shell 8 electron, and 1 more electron is left. Total 11 electrons there. Total 11 electrons. Just a second. Okay. Total 11 electrons are there in sodium. Okay. So in the first shell 2 already we have drawn. In the second shell we have drawn 8 electron. Electronic configuration. Once again I am writing here. In short I am writing EC, electronic configuration. Okay. So this will be 281. In the K shell 2, L shell 8, and in the M shell 1. Okay, so this is. So only 1 electron will be there in the M shell. Okay, so this is the electronic configuration of. This is the atomic structure of sodium. Okay, sodium 2311. Now see, this is the electronic configuration. Now how this sodium, this sodium atom is not stable, as it's having 1 electron in the last shell, which is not stable structure. Okay, to attain stability, how it will what it will do, whether it will lose electron or it will gain electron. So if we see the electronic configuration, either in the M shell it can add more 7 electron, or this is one way. Another way is there, that this extra electron which is there in the last shell, that it can lose to someone else, and it can attain the electronic structure of 2,8, which is a stable structure. Okay, now sodium, its atomic number is 11, so its nearest noble gas is neon, whose atomic number is 10. Okay, that means it will, and again after this, its argon is another noble gas whose atomic number is 80. So neon and argon, these two are the noble gases, and we know noble gases are stable because they are having stable electronic structure. Okay, now which one is near to sodium? Neon. So it will attain the structure of neon. That means this extra electron which is there in the last shell, M shell, it will lose that electron and it will attain stability. How? Na minus E, as it's losing the electron, so Na minus E, Na plus. Okay, so how we will get these ions? How the symbols are there? See, when electron is negatively charged particle, we know. So when a neutral atom or neutral particle is losing one negatively charged particle, so now it will attain the it will have the positive charge in it. Okay, So Na minus E, Na plus. So this is the cation we know as contain a positive charge. Okay. So in this manner sodium will form the ion. Okay. Now they can these ions, they will react together to produce ionic compounds. Okay, as sodium, we know the structure of common salt, sodium chloride. These are ionic compound. Okay, so this Na plus and Cl minus, when they will get together, sodium and chlorine. I'm just removing the structure of sodium, otherwise cannot show this. So Na plus and Cl minus. We have seen that sodium will lose this electron. Sodium is losing one electron. So one electron will be extra here. That electron will be captured by chlorine. Okay. So chlorine we have seen, no, this will capture one electron. So this electron will be given by this sodium and it will produce Na plus, and chlorine will gain this electron to produce Cl minus. Now this Na plus and Cl minus will get together with a strong ionic bond to produce NaCl. Okay. So in this manner the bond formation will go on. Okay, so this was the structure of atom. We have isotopes, which we have discussed already. Isotopes means the isotopes are the suppose if we say with an example hydrogen. Okay, normal hydrogen, its atomic number is 1 and its mass number is 1, but we have two more hydrogen which are having same atomic number because the element is same, hydrogen, but their mass number is different. One is having mass number 2, another is having mass number 3. Okay, so these are the isotopes of hydrogen. This is normal hydrogen, this is deuterium, and this is tritium. Okay, so the same element but having different mass number. That means they are having different neutrons, different number of, in the number of neutrons will vary. So number of proton will be 1 for this, number of electron is also 1, but number of neutron is 1 in the first case. Okay, here in deuterium we have number of protons same, as atomic number is 1, electron is also 1, but number of neutron is mass number minus atomic number, so this will be 2. Oh, wait, this is not 2, this will be number, in the first case no neutron is there because 1 minus 1 we have no neutron in normal hydrogen, but in deuterium we have 1 neutron, 2 minus 1, and in yttrium we have number of proton 1, number of electron is also 1, but number of neutron here 3 minus 1, that means 2. So here only the difference is in the number of neutron. So in isotopes, the same element of the same element, but they are having different neutrons. Okay, in their number of neutrons they vary. That's why they are having different mass number. Their atomic numbers are same because they are of same element, but their mass number is different because they are having different protons. Okay, in their nucleus, they are having different number of protons in their nucleus. So these are the isotopes. Hydrogen, chlorine is also having isotope. Oxygen is there. Many examples we can give. So let us give the example of chlorine. Chlorine is 3517. One we have seen. This is the percentage of this chlorine is maximum. For hydrogen also, this is the normal hydrogen, so its percentage is maximum, and they are having negligible percentage. Deuterium and tritium. Okay, whereas chlorine is having this one isotope 3517. This is the normal isotope, and another is 3717. Okay, this is, suppose this chlorine is 75% near about, and this chlorine is 25%. Okay, this one. So this is the percentage, and this percentage vary. So today up to this, let's see if you have any other doubt in this chapter, then we will discuss. Otherwise, we will go for the exercise in the next class. Okay, till then, read this chapter properly, line by line, and prepare the lesson. Thank you.